Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. I'm Conrad Zen, former Bitcoin Foundation member and now evangelist for Pulse Chain and PulseZen. I hope you can hear me above the seagulls this morning. They're being quite vociferous and chatty. And so they well may be, because I have some interesting news to tell you. I've been making tweets all week long about how quantitative easing is going to start and how interest rates are actually going to be lowered. And that is coming true, I think, as soon as today. What that means is we're going to see the increase of easy, cheap money into the system. People will be able to borrow money for very little in the way of interest rates, which means there's going to be lots of more money sloshing around in the system to go into high yield assets like PulseZen. So watch out for that. That is happening possibly today. The other thing I want to talk about is this guy, Mr. Bessent. He's come out recently and said that they audit the gold in Fort Knox every single year. And of course, this is a classic PSYOPs case of giving people misinformation, misdirecting people, false echo chambers, false facts and figures. And I gave a link somewhere in the description here about, exactly what's going on. They have never audited the gold in Fort Knox. Well, not for about 40 years. That was the last audit that was done. And so for 40 years, we don't really know how much gold is inside Fort Knox. And I don't think anybody really wants to know. But Mr. Bessent, the Treasury Secretary of the United States of America, one of his jobs is to know exactly how much gold is in Fort Knox. And he's put out a statement saying, well, we audit it every year. Not true. Those words are not true. And you can tell that by the report. Click on the link there. It's a file sharing service where you can download this report, or just go to the American government Treasury website, and you will see what they mean by auditing the gold in Fort Knox. Is they actually look at a report that is sent to them by Fort Knox, who says, yeah, all the gold's here, hasn't changed, or it has changed, but this is how much we have. We know that's right. And so you can confidently report to the American public that we have the gold that we say we have in Fort Knox. And so the Treasury Secretary, Mr. Bessent, is then going to disseminate that information to the general public via this report, which says we have audited the gold in Fort Knox, as we do every year, and it's all there. Everything is tickety-boo. But the reality is nobody has actually audited the physical gold in Fort Knox. What they have done is audited a report from Fort Knox, which just basically says, yes, the gold is here. What kind of audit is that? If they really were going to investigate, it would take them about 18 months or so to actually physically count the gold bars that are in there. Those vaults in which the gold is stored, the gold bars, they are deliberately designed to be really not penetrable by machinery. So they're very small rooms full of gold, very difficult to move. But of course, they would have to move every single bar, count every bar. They'd have to test every bar for purity. I mean, for all we know, the gold bricks painted gold. We don't know. So the audit of Fort Knox hasn't happened for 40 years. So we've no clue what's going to happen if they ever do actually audit gold in Fort Knox. A complete PSYOPs, all straight out of the CIA playbook, which is rather like the pDAI saga. I know you're all fed up with the pDAI saga. Some of you have lost money. Some of you think you're going to be able to get it back. It doesn't matter. But, the PSYOPs has been absolutely tremendous of how they put this information forward. I mean, you've got authorities propaganda. I mean, everybody was saying that Richard Hart did this, Richard Hart said this. and they're misconstruing all sorts of information to fit their narrative. That's what they were doing. They had a complete echo chamber going, completely engineered, where the same things were being said by the same cabal of people in various different mediums, Twitter, Reddit, and YouTube. And what do you two believe? It's very, very difficult. And the framing and the psychological factors that they employed are just unbelievable. Even now, today, people are buying pDAI. What is wrong with people? If the founder of the chain, Richard Hart, could come out and tell you, I mean, we don't know whether it's him or not. I don't care. But the fact of the matter is, he told you not to get involved in it. And if you don't listen to him, I mean, he created the chain. If you're not prepared to listen to the de facto leader of the chain, then there's probably no hope for you. So I have to just reiterate something about Richard Hart and I. I mean, we don't agree on everything. I mean, we have fallen out over the years, but we started off on a good foot, and I genuinely believe that the people that you are going to be listening to and have listened to, you'll be listening to us for a very long time, because neither of us, Richard Hart or I, need your money. We are not extractors. We've already made it. We've already made it. And it is my deepest wish to make more of you make it. And that echoes Richard Hart's sentiment, I am sure. So I think the moral of the story is be very, very careful of who you listen to. And you really can't trust what anybody says, even me. Go and check it out with as much research as you can and find the facts. The other interesting thing is that I've done any transactions on Ethereum just recently, you'll see how cheap they have got. As I keep saying, it's going to get more expensive for those thousands of times cheaper at the moment. It will get more expensive over time. Ethereum will get cheaper over time. And that means something very interesting. It means that PulseZen on Ethereum, which kind of everybody's forgotten, it's kind of the lost child, if you like, of crypto, will start to gain momentum, because as Jerome Powell has come out and said, with the introduction of stablecoin legislation, of the crypto regulations that are going to be coming in by the end of this year at the latest, we're going to see mass adoption of cryptocurrency, because people will have to. It is inevitable that there are going to be millions and millions of people who are not interested in crypto at the moment, who are going to be exposed to crypto in some shape or form, which means that interesting protocols like Richard Hart's 4 core coins, mine, PulseZen, these are the things that people are bound to become more interested in once they understand crypto a little bit better, once they understand the concept of self-custody, once they understand the concept of decentralized finance. The sky's the limit for crypto. We are very lucky to be where we are. You are very lucky to be where you are, because A, you're listening to me, B, you've been exposed to crypto, C, you know all about PulseZen, which is a protocol that inevitably will attract a huge, huge interest when people realize what crypto is all about, and the 99% of rubbish that's out there, and the few good coins that are there are going to be in limited supply and great demand. Anyway, that's my quick update of what's happening. We've got the Treasury Secretary telling lies about the order of Fort Knox. We've got interest rates from the central banks coming down rapidly. Jerome Powell's either going to do what he's told, or he's going to be toast. Mark my words, he'll probably be toast. Next time I talk to you, he'll be gone if he doesn't comply with Donald Trump's wishes. And we're going to see mass adoption of crypto in the future, spurred on by the United States government, who really wants everybody to go digital. So I'm Conrad Zen, former Bitcoin Foundation member and evangelist for PulseChain and PulseGen. And thank you very much for listening to me this morning.